Hey, this is Brandon Crawford from the San Francisco Giants, and you're listening to Torture Cast.
You're listening to a podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants with hosts Willie Dills, Chad King, and Ben Lee.
Let's go Giants! SF Giants! Let's go Giants! SF Giants!
Dedicated to the greatest team in Major League Baseball history, the San Francisco Giants. This is Torture Cast.
Standing on top, not gonna stop. We came to play, ain't slowing down. Falling on, we're here to stay, and we're stomping on whatever's in our way. I'm feeling like a giant tonight.
Welcome everybody to the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. My name is Willie Dills. We're back at Zeke's. I'm, of course, joined by co-host Chad King. What's up, Chad?
What's going on? Hey, look, Matt Cain beat Max Scherzer. Well, no, he didn't really beat him.
He didn't get the W.
But the Giants won.
The Giants won. His start.
That's all that counts.
It was Matt Cain's start, and it was Max
And then
Scherzer's
Vogelsong
start, and we won the game.
beat
did his
Strasburg
best. He did
before
his
that.
best.
Yeah.
So, like, what the hell is going on
Vogelsong
after a
beat
4-game
Spo.
sweep to the hands of the Cubs? Because that's all Jen
I think we
Cosgriff's
could-
fault?
I am
predict
not
that.
accepting the blame for the Midwest slump.
Okay, wait.
You weren't in attendance for like 3 of the 4 games.
So whose fault was it? It's one of your fault.
We can blame Allie.
You guys were there.
Allie and I went to 5 baseball games.
And you lost every single one, right?
3 Cubs and 1 White Sox, and California teams went 0-5 in those.
By the way, Jen Cosgriff is with us.
California slumping. Dun, 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 dun,
Smartest person I know.
Dun, dun,
Not
And we
my
have another
fault.
guest with us. Introduce yourself, sir.
I am Juan Huerta.
Juan.
Very
and you,
Mexican.
You work with Jen.
Yes, sir.
It's good. We like everybody to go ahead and racially profile themselves as we start. Yeah. We need to know everyone.
Experienced video producer from the Bay Area.
Chad,
Very
I'm
smart
white.
man.
Yeah. Hi, Willie, white.
Jen.
Super Irish over here, so super white.
Hey, Catholicism. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, yes, Juan Huerta.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
to have you.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we were in the press box tonight, and Giants had a rough go of it at the beginning of this stretch of, 26 games against teams over 500.
Yes.
Jen, you personally got to view the beginning of this catastrophe. Because you were in Chicago. You went to, so it was a 4-game series.
I didn't
In
go.
Chicago.
I didn't go Thursday.
Oh, you didn't go Thursday.
We went to the Brewers game Thursday.
Just 3 games.
Okay. And what happened?
The pitching, like, I don't think a starting pitcher until PV on Sunday went more than 4 innings.
Oh my God.
PV went 5.
That's a good
Yeah,
PV start.
and only gave up 2,
Right?
and
Yeah.
it was just like rejoicing everywhere
That's
for
what we were
Giants
expecting
fans.
out of PV at this point.
I mean, the bullpen is so tired.
Yeah.
And I'm actually not sure how Contos' arm hasn't fallen off. I feel like he's
He's thrown a lot of innings.
roughly 1 billion innings. That's a,
I think
that's
that's
a
about
guesstimate.
right. I think it's 1 billion and a
Yeah,
third.
give or
Pretty
take,
accurate.
give or
Guesstimate,
take, or take a
but
few.
Yeah. Super. Like this bullpen is just exhausted, and
Yeah.
and it
They
really
look good tonight, though.
It really showed on the road trip because
Yeah.
it was back to back games where they had to come in and pitch
They had
at
to do,
least
like,
4
Well, they had a
innings.
day off, and Bogey surprisingly ate some innings last
Yeah.
night.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that was great.
That
It
was
was
a
great
great
last
Vogelsong
So you can see
start.
when you have like 2 days of normal
Yeah. Well,
relief.
really, we're missing Leak like
Rest.
a lot right now because Leak was supposed to come in and soak up innings, and now he's,
And I hear he's on schedule to come
yeah,
back.
he's fine. Apparently,
Yeah.
he's going to miss 2 starts. And
What's his name? Bobby GM said.
Bobby Evans?
Bobby
Yeah.
Evans said that he'll be back after this last start.
Well, and we were talking about this earlier, and Bogey has both of his starts now, and he lost one and he won one. So, to be honest, you can't expect League to act, to win both starts. You can't. So going 1-1 is fine.
Yeah.
Now, if you went 0-2, you say, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
deal.
so
that's
technically, we
biting
didn't
you.
lose anything over this period.
No,
What's
exactly.
But we did lose Vogelsong as a long inning relief man
Yes.
while this was happening.
It's
Yes, but
really
you have
it's
Osich
so
on.
We have
hard.
Osich, who's
But
like
you have Osich.
but he's not really like he's only really pitched like 1 inning here, 1 inning there type of
They
guy.
But
have
he
to
hasn't
keep,
failed
too.
yet.
Like it's
He's done good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
they've
done
had
good.
to keep
He got a bunt down tonight. That was
so
awesome.
many arms like in the bull. Like it's really it's been so hard on this staff to have
Bring back
to
my
have
cheese, what you're
2
saying.
long inning relievers. Like it's just been so draining on this
Yeah.
bullpen
But
to
that's
have
why
to have that.
that's
like,
why you keep an arm like Vogelsong. I mean,
Yeah, he
he's
can do
not
whatever.
the pitcher he was.
By the way, if Vogelsong's in the bullpen, are you allowed to ever talk to him, or is he just like, I must always be ready?
Bogey's bogey. I mean, at minimum,
He-
even though
he's
he's not the pitcher
terrifying
he
a little
was, even like last year, he's still going to give you 100%. He's a
And
bulldog.
he's ready to go.
He's
Yeah.
going to give you everything he's got. So
I was actually listening to Romo this morning on Murph and Mac, and Romo was saying the same thing. He was like, no matter what with Vogelsong, at least you know he's going to come out, he's going to give you an effort.
Yes.
Like, he's never going to come out and just, like, completely shit the bed. He's just always going to, you know.
So like
But,
he's in the bullpen, yeah, he's gonna be in a
nobody,
pissy mood because he's
nobody
expecting to
cares
pitch. Yeah.
more than
Yeah,
exactly.
he cares very much.
Yes.
Very, very
flipping
much.
a bowl of cereal into like a mirror kind of cares.
Backwards hat, looking mean.
So, okay, so that was terrible. I'm sure that the whole trip sucks because of that, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Chicago
No,
in the
no.
summer.
How dare I
I'm
enjoy
gonna bring up
Wrigley?
Chicago in the summer, the
Hashtag
worst.
ATM cupcakes is all I'm gonna say.
We found a cupcake ATM, and it was
I'm
the
just
most
saying.
glorious thing in
Chicago
human
has that
existence.
over San Francisco.
So how do they?
Thank you, 2015.
Wait. It sounds like a cupcake vending machine. Not what makes it an ATM?
You go,
Do you-
so it's like Sprinkles is like
You
this
have to open
chain
a
of
cupcake
cupcakes
baking
place.
account?
And then so they have an
Cupcake baking
ATM
account?
outside for when Sprinkles is closed, and you go up and they have a touch screen that comes up, and you pick your flavor, and there's like 15 to choose from. You pick one, and then you swipe your card, and then like
then
suddenly
a
like a
cupcake
little
comes
thing
out.
in the wall opens, and there's just like a little box with
And
a
then
cupcake in
magical
it.
morsels
Cupcakes.
appear.
I think
in
we
the-
should
in the
go
tray.
to the Japanese system of vending machines
Yes.
for everything.
Yeah.
So we should have beer,
Beer,
yeah, all
beer,
the
cupcakes,
cupcakes, clearly.
medium rare steaks.
We were coming from
Other
the bar, and we
substances.
demanded that they take us to the
Bacon.
cupcake ATM.
Oh my God.
And they did.
Bacon ATM. How's no one thought of that in what's going on in the market?
ATM.
To be fair,
I
at
just
US
need a quick slice
Cellular,
of
they
bacon.
sell bacon on a
That's all I
stick.
want.
It's one of, like I loved
Wait.
I loved
Bacon
Wrigley.
like wrapped around a stick.
No, literally
You know what's
just
better is to
bacon
wrap
on
it
a
around.
stick.
But
Bacon
the
on
stick
a
should be
stick.
made of meat. Like a hot dog.
I'm fine with that.
I would leave right now if I knew there was a machine where I could get bacon.
Yeah, I mean, we have beer here and peanuts and everything. If they had bacon on a stick here, I'd be buying it right now. Just
They,
saying.
also at USL, we were very sad because we didn't get club seats. Somehow, okay,
You had to sit with all the plebs.
it sounds
Upper
bratty to say that we were sad that we didn't get club seats. My uncle runs a nonprofit, and he currently in Marin, but he worked a lot, like for many years, doing nonprofit stuff for the A's, and so he knows a lot of people in baseball. I saw him the Monday before I left for my trip, and he was like, "Do you have your White Sox tickets yet?" And I said, "No." He said, "Text me this week, and I'll leave you some free tickets at will call." I was like, "Okay." So he showed up on Monday, and the guy was like, "Oh, you guys have Robin Ventura's seats tonight." I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Wait, he's the guy who got knocked out by Nolan Ryan, right? That's
the guy who hit a grand
Yeah,
slam
yeah.
single?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
the manager.
That happened too.
So we were sitting
like, you
maybe
remember right
20
there.
rows behind
Yeah,
home
no one
plate,
Ryan hitting him on the top of the head.
That's right.
and the seats were beautiful
Yeah.
and wonderful.
Oh, but shout out to Shane Rubin who ran into one Clay
Clay
Thompson
at a White Sox game.
the White Sox game.
Oh,
His
really?
bro is doing big things in
He's playing for
Chicago.
the White
Just
Sox,
got
right?
pulled
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
He hit a
But none
home
of
run.
us knew that. And then my
Yeah.
friend was there, and she
Shane
was like,
Rubin, very talented writer.
So Clay Thompson is just hanging out in the bleachers at the White Sox game by himself. I was like, I don't know why.
He's
And
watching
by
his
the way,
brother.
that was a
His brother.
majestic video of his brother hitting his first home run. And
That was
getting
like a couple days ago,
The
right?
silent treatment. Coming
Yeah.
back in the dugout.
Yeah, that's right.
Just pretending
And
to high
he
five
lived it up.
everyone.
Yeah,
It was really good.
he was high-fiving everybody he could.
I want to ask you guys something about the topic of the day. Everyone's looking when the big news is going to come down about Chase Utley.
Sounds like it's just not even going to happen at this point.
It's been 2 days. I don't think it's going to happen.
They made an offer, they said,
Yes.
and then now it sounds like there's other teams who are more interested in offering more. Honestly, what do the Giants have to really offer? Like,
Also, though, Utley really wants to be an everyday player. He doesn't want to go someplace he's going to be a backup. And the Giants have Panic. Like,
Well, here's the
they're
deal.
going to pick Panic over Utley. And Utley is batting
I don't know.
200. Like, he's
I don't know.
not. He should not start
He's
every
not the hitter
day.
he was. I don't know what's going on with Panic's back. I don't want it to be a situation where they're rushing this kid's back because that's going to screw him up for his whole career. I'd rather sit him the whole year than he's a. Okay, I don't know if everyone heard that joke. It was funny, apparently.
Something
was funny.
This
Something
is
was funny.
Zeke's post-Giants.
Anyway, I'm just saying, this kid could be a 300 consistent hitter through his whole career and really help the Giants further. Don't know if you want to risk him running back. Maybe that's why the chase is on for Utley for at least this year.
Utley wants a guarantee that he's going to start long term, including the next year, and the Giants are not going to. They're not going to promise that. Like,
Panic's the start
your
next year.
guys panic.
I'm cool with sitting Panic this year because the back is a tricky thing.
Yeah.
If you don't,
If it's that bad, yeah, you don't.
right.
force
But
it,
if you don't treat it right, it could be something that lingers his whole career.
Yeah.
You don't want that for a stud like him at second base. So I'm fine with Utley this year. Let him sign with someone else next year.
But I don't want to give up too much to
Yes.
do this. You know what I mean? And that's what worries
For
me.
That's
just
the
a
big
very
thing for me.
short-term solution, it's
Yeah.
not worth it.
Yeah, a
And
retread
he's
of
not
Utley.
even like on the level of some of the other guys that we've done this for in the past, right? Like at least at this point in his career. Like,
So remember the 2011 Beltron?
well, Beltron, but he was,
He had problems with
he
his
was
wrist.
a solid player at the time, and he got hurt. Like it's always you never know what's going to happen, right? And to give up a bunch of stuff for a rental is always a scary thing. I do think that the Giants are like currently a better team than the Dodgers. So even with Panic out, I still think we're a better team than the Dodgers. I just feel like we just are going through a really tough stretch of games, and then on the other end of that, we should be able to close the gap. So do we need to like freak out right now and do something?
No.
Probably not, right?
That was the thing of watching, too. Even like watching the Giants get swept in Chicago, like that sucked. But then it was also watching the Dodgers get swept. By
Yeah, they got
Pirates.
swept by
Like,
the Pirates.
by
yeah.
The
Pirates.
Dodgers do not want to win the West. Like, I mean, they do, but
Well,
like,
they do.
no, it's
But they're not.
they're not running away with it, and they should be. Like, they have $100 million more than everyone. You should be up 15 games by now, and you're up 2.5.
Elephant in the room. We were talking about this earlier today.
Is it 2.5 still? It might be less now.
Yeah, but
Dodgers won tonight.
it is 2015. Marty McFly, Back to the Future 2, predicted that the Cubs would win the World Series this year. So can we really
I wouldn't even be mad
can
about
we really
it.
worry about this year? I mean, it's already predicted that the Cubs are going to win this year. So
Plus,
and I
it's a-
never doubt Marty
It's
McFly.
an odd year, so
It's a
like,
rule I have.
Yeah, like we're not supposed to, right? Like,
Yeah.
This is an odd year, but whatever. I think we can.
Yeah.
This is a better Giants team than I think last year's Giants team.
Yeah.
Offensively,
They
yes.
just snuck in last
Not with
year.
the
Like,
I
pitching.
think this team is better than last year's team, and it certainly is better than the other two odd year teams.
yeah.
two
Oh,
odd year
yes,
teams, for sure.
absolutely.
The question is, what's going to happen down the stretch? I mean, the Giants are 2.5 games back of the Dodgers right now. They have 7 games left against the Dodgers. And I think that, of course, they can still get the wild card, which we don't want them to get if they can win the West.
I don't want to go into Chicago and have to play the Cubs.
We don't want to do that, right? We don't want to do that. Or Pittsburgh. Or
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Again.
You know what's fucking nuts about this whole thing, though? The Cubs are 7.5 games back in their division.
Because
Cardinals are on a different. I don't know
This
what's
is
up
the
with the
one
Cardinals.
thing-
Cardinals are on another
They're on another level.
Allie and I bonded with Cubs fans over, like, we sat in the bleachers at Wrigley on Friday and had the best time. Like, even when there's a lot of shit talking going on towards us because we were like in Giants gear and they were making fun of us, but they were still so nice about it. They were delightful, and we all bonded.
Nice Midwestern baseball
Yeah, Allie and I
fans.
were like, but we can all at least agree that like the Cardinals are fucking annoying, right? And they were like, we fucking hate the Cardinals. We're like,
I mean, that's
Thank you. Like-
that's the deal. It's like for us, it's like as long as when we're not in it, as long as the Cardinals beat the Dodgers, right? And the Cubs have to feel the same way. It's like Giants over the Cardinals every day of the week. So
Well, I think if you're a Cubs fan, you can't be worried about winning and losing.
Yeah.
I think you have to be like, look, man, I just
take
like
it.
coming out on a
Anything
sunny
with-
day.
yeah, exactly.
their little song
I'm
that
just
they
glad to be out of the
play-
house.
that they play when they win was like it was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life to hear. Like they were great fans every year. Like they were up every 0-2 count, every 3-2 count. Like they were on their feet. Every dumb pop out, every strikeout, every ground out RBI. I mean, those fans were so into it the whole game. Like It was
Let's be
just
honest.
hard to be mad at them. They were incredible baseball
We all remember
fans.
03 and what happened there. I mean, those, if you're not a Cubs fan, you had to be a little heartbroken about what happened to them back then. So.
I felt real bad.
And as one Justin Karp said, if the Cubs actually do win the World Series, it might be the end of the world.
I also was always a guy who liked Lou too, so I was kind of rooting for him. You know.
He would have caught that, I think.
Yeah.
Bartman, if you're
He had the
listening,
piss
Alu
hands.
would
He
have
wasn't
caught
gonna miss
that.
that. Yeah,
The piss
poor Bartman.
The piss hands.
He had the piss hands.
That's a thing?
He
What is
peed on
that?
his hands to toughen them up
Yep.
for hitting.
That was Moises Salute.
You
gotta do what you gotta do.
He peed on his
Look, man,
hands.
the guy was committed.
Yep.
I don't want to live in a world where piss hands is a thing.
Yep.
It's still legal. It's still natural.
Look, you can't take steroids, but you can piss on your hands. So you gotta do what you
You can pee on yourself. That's cool.
totally within the
It's
rules.
still legal. I agree.
Alright.
What
Alright,
you gotta
so
do, you gotta do.
I'm curious about one thing though. What is the stadium like? Is it feel old and shit? Like, does it go to the bathroom and it's just like, yeah, these facilities
Was it like
need a
everything
little
you
work?
mentioned? Is it that Wrigley?
But I mean, like, it's
magic?
awesome, right? Like,
It was, we went to 3 games. The first day we sat in the bleachers, and that's obviously, they just redid those.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. And they have a whole...
and that's like right in front of where people are like sitting on like the rooftops.
Yeah, and you have to go in a special gate to go to the bleachers. Like, it's very separate. You have to have a wristband to buy alcohol in the bleachers. Like,
It's not
but
rookie
I
of
felt
the year.
like
Take a train with your buddy.
No, it was very organized.
One of you guys should have tried to fall over and see
It
if you
was
could.
very organized, which I appreciated.
Rudenbaker or whatever his name was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The second day we sat in like the lower deck in like the 200 level. Wrigley was very odd to me because the lower deck is like very like wide. It goes back really far. There's like probably 100 rows going back. Where AT&T is what, like 35.
Yeah, there's not that many. Yeah.
And then, but their upper deck is like straight up. So the second day we sat in the lower deck and we had a pole in our way because that's just. And I really didn't feel like I was watching a baseball game in the 20s.
They
Like,
put girders in your view.
yeah, there was a pole. There, like the scaffolding was
Even at
everywhere.
one point,
Like,
there wasn't even fucking stands. People were just like behind a rope.
yeah.
So
So that
I
was
mean,
like,
this was like big technology, like
that
at
was
the
pretty
time.
cool to watch from that level, and just I really did feel like I was watching a game in the 20s. But then the last day we sat in the upper deck, like almost in the the last row, and I just walking to our seats.
$3 for a hard
I
dog?
was straight like just super vertigo. I almost fainted when we got to the top because the upper deck is just straight up at Wrigley.
Really?
There is no the lower deck. Yeah, it's very wide and spread out, and the upper deck is just straight up. Like, and Allie and I got to the top and we were like, I'm not even drunk and I can't even walk up these steps. Like, I thought I was gonna faint, and so we just spent the rest of the day walking around. They have really good areas where you can stop and stand and watch the game.
That's good.
So we stopped behind home plate and just watched the game with a bunch of
Who,
other Cubs fans.
because they usually have like celebrities doing the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, you guys gonna
Anyone
get
cool
one?
singing those
Maybe like
songs?
Will Ferrell's or
CM Punk's.
No,
anybody?
they had the guy who does the play-by-play for the Blackhawks did it one day.
yeah, we all know his name.
Yeah. Joe Blackhawk.
That guy.
You know we love hockey here.
Yeah.
It was like old, very old, classic Chicago
Chicago
sports
celebrities.
figures. Yeah, so like I didn't recognize them.
Well, see, but that makes sense. Like if you know, if it was here and you had like like the announcer for like the A's in the '70s, like a bunch of people would freak out, right?
Yeah.
Like
Bill King came back
Well,
from the dead.
people would freak out because Bill King is dead. Yes. So I'm saying
Because
like.
it's literally a zombie singing the 7th
Well,
inning
but I mean
stretch.
that makes
Raiders.
sense in Chicago to have like
And they did a great job, and we noticed that in Milwaukee, the 3 games at Wrigley, and then at US Cellular for the White Sox. They always had like I don't know, it was like the 4th inning. They would bring out like a veteran and just like have everyone just like applaud them. And the guy at the White Sox was like a World War II veteran, like in his little wheelchair, and just like so everyone like gave him a standing ovation, and he just started crying like. It was, I couldn't, but they did it at every single game we went to when we were back there. So it was very sweet. It was really
That
cool.
sounds
Just
classy.
like, yeah, it
much
was.
less like remember the guy who came out for the first pitch and then he lobbed the grenade and like crawled on the ground and all that shit. That's like the not classy way. Does anybody remember this? This is like the playoffs or something, right? Yeah.
Oh, hold on. You're talking about Giants,
I
Barry
think
Zito?
it was the Giants, but he.
Oh no.
It was at but it was at the Nationals park, right? This was last year.
No, I know which one I was like.
So it was a guy carrying
Barry
the
Zito-
first pitch, and he pretended the baseball was a grenade, and then he like crawled on the ground.
I don't
and then,
remember that.
Threw it. Yeah, it was,
'Cause I remember
that's
2012.
a
like,
worse way
Zito
to
was
do
on
it.
the
Sounds like the White Sox are doing it
Literally
right.
the worst.
I don't remember that.
And it was, they did it at the Brewers, all 3 Cubs games, so it must just be maybe like a
Like a thing
Midwest
they
thing.
do. Yeah.
But it was so sweet. The little old man at the White Sox, like, Allie and I just looked at each other. We were both like trying not to cry because he started to cry. Like, he was like in his, oh my gosh.
How serious though?
Bless my heart.
Baseball talk. How serious are the Cubs? Like, are they legit?
They seem pretty legit.
Are they legit?
They're like, oh my, Kyle Schwarber is
Yeah, Schwarber. Yeah.
fucking amazing. Plus his warm-up song is No Diggity, his walk-up song. Like,
Hold up, but
You
is it no
cannot
doubt?
top it.
I want to know if there's no doubt.
you can't top one of them, gosh, and I can't remember the other one. I think it's Rizzo in his third at
Taylor
bat.
Whispers
His
is
thing
pretty
is
good,
Bad
though.
Blood by Taylor Swift. Like, literally, we had a great dance party to every Cubs walk-up song.
Bad Blood, really?
Our buddy
there was no,
does.
like,
My daughter's going to the Taylor Swift concert tomorrow night in San Jose.
All my friends are going this weekend. And
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is
T
like,
Swift
They're at
concert
Levi's
tonight, right?
The Levi's tonight, right?
I don't like her as a person, but like, goddamn,
I just see like a bunch of Instagrams.
HP tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, so I think it's at Levi's tonight. Way to fuck up the field, Taylor Swift. Again.
we have enough field.
I know we have enough
Yeah.
problems with Taylor Swift.
That's
No,
the
but
name to get a fucking
Schwarber
curse.
walks up to No Diggity, and it makes my heart.
All right, let's talk about tonight's game because we haven't even got there. Yeah.
We
Tonight's
won.
game,
Yay.
we won 2 in a row now over the Nats, beating
Yeah, who would have
the
thought
2
that?
top pitchers.
Yeah, shocking.
The 2 top pitchers on their team as well. And by the way, like Scherzer's been this year like insane.
Yeah, didn't he have like 2 one-hitters back to back, and then
Well, he had a no-hitter, and
lot
then
of
he had
people
like
were
almost
surprised.
another no-hitter.
Yeah, and they poured chocolate on him, which was the weirdest shit I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
the whole
I
chocolate
love
thing.
Max Scherzer.
You know, the whole thing with Strasburg is a lot of people were surprised that Vogelsong beat Strasburg last night. Okay, he didn't actually beat him, but he was the
Again,
winning pitcher.
maximum effort as best as he could do.
Exactly. But I don't think people realize that the name of Strasburg it comes with much more weight than what his stats actually were out this year. Vogelsong actually has better stats than Strasburg, and they were much better going into last night's start. So I think people need to realize that Strasburg is actually struggling this year.
Yeah.
Now tonight, with Kane with a 5.59 ERA against Scherzer, who's had like almost 6 no-hitters this
It's like
year.
negative 5 ERA.
I think he's actually never given up a base hit in his entire life.
And to see the Giants, and Willie, you said this earlier tonight, for some reason, be it playoffs or regular season, the Giants seem to do well against aces.
Yeah.
And they get
Give us your aces. We'll fuck them up. We
by
don't care.
like Omar Despaign's of the world.
Give us
right?
your guy with a 9.5 ERA.
a consistency.
We'll
No,
never get
I
it.
mean they can get dominated from every night, night to night. But consistently, they put up good at bats. They have an idea against a pitcher. Yeah, they can get dominated because talent is talent. But they're professional hitters.
Yeah.
You know, from Blanco to.
But I just don't understand why they suck against bad pitchers. Like, what is? Is it a
Why
focus
is
thing?
that? What is going
No, but is it like a focus? Like, are they like just more focused when they feel like they have an uphill battle? I don't know.
Maybe. To watch them against like Despaigne, for
Yeah,
the Padres,
Despaigne is like perfect. It's like
this last start against him was the first time they've like gotten any runs against him in 2 years. I was like, he's literally not
that
a
good.
pitcher.
he's literally a shitty pitcher in the MLB.
I mean,
somehow
if
he,
you,
like,
I mean,
no-hits the Giants.
if you've been a Batman fan watching since 2010, you've seen the Giants ups and downs, struggles. They're a very streaky team.
Huh? I have another.
Very good service.
Yeah, bourbon bullet.
I'm good, thanks.
And I have my taps, Gregory.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love her. She's here every time. She's so nice.
We get this off on the podcast in the Bonusode.
No, but it's weird. It's a weird.
It is a weird. I mean, they've been really streaky this year.
Yeah.
Really streaky. But all I'm saying is that they'll get dominated sometimes, but they're at least knowledgeable hitters enough, and they go over the game plan. May not work all the time.
Well, I don't even know. Like, so where are the Giants? Like, at one point they were the second best offense in the National League, right?
Yeah.
Are they still
They're
like?
definitely still
mean,
up
So
there.
as of Monday, they still had the second best batting average in the National League behind the Rockies, which doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Also, is it weird? Like, Ali and I were talking about how weird it is to suddenly watch a Giants team that's great offensively and struggles with pitching.
That is very.
Yes.
That is 180 from the previous year.
A team I know.
It brings you back to like 2002 and like those teams when we had like Bonds and Kent and all that shit. Thank you.
I mean, but
all right,
you
so
have.
here we go. Second in batting average to the Tigers.
Well, that's
Better
MLB.
this is MLB.
So they're better than the Rockies.
Better than the
The
Royals.
Tigers are not
Better
a
than the
good team.
Rockies.
Oh, they are better than the Rockies now.
I mean,
Yeah.
here we.
That's
like,
crazy.
This is my first time here with talking baseball with you guys, but I'm assuming you guys are very knowledgeable, past and present with the Giants. We're 2.5 behind the Dodgers, mid-August, heading into September. We know what's
the
going.
best.
We know what's going down.
Yeah.
Giants, Dodgers for the NL West.
Yes.
Oh no, it's gonna happen. Yeah.
7 games left.
Yeah, 7 games left with them. We do pretty well head-to-head with them.
Which is basically the dream every
Yes.
summer. Like,
I
I,
mean-
want it to be Giants, Dodgers.
We all know what it was like
Every year.
pre-2010
So this is
about
the only
being happy
number-
about an NL West division title.
Yeah, and that's it.
This is the only number I think that really matters though. So runs scored. The Diamondbacks, the Rockies, and then us.
And then
As
actually.
far as the National League goes. The American League obviously scores more runs because of
Well, I
designated
mean,
hitters. So.
and also the Blue Jays are like insane.
The Giants have an innate ability, though, for players to step up. Blanco
Yeah.
may be stepping up and say, hey, this leadoff spot's
Well, he's
mine.
got something
Pagan
going.
is not going to be good again until next year. Or
Well, so he's hurt if he goes on the disabled list and actually heals and comes back healthy.
yeah.
I
But
think he's
Evans,
still fine.
again, this morning said on the network, he might not be 100% until next season.
Yeah.
Pagan is fighting through industry.
His contract is up? I
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
This is last year.
Blanco is a professional hitter. He's been clutch for us for the past 3 years. He may be like, this is my time. I'm going to fucking take over this league.
Probably. I mean, I mentioned this to Chad though. It's like everyone's clamoring for Blanco, who last year in the World Series they were clamoring for anybody but Blanco. Like it's just the nature of baseball. Like people get hot, people get cold. Blanco was like sitting 200 for the entire playoffs.
The last game that I worked, though, like, we were interviewing Pence in the clubhouse, and it was their last homestand. It was the last game, and I honestly can't even remember who they beat. And it was right before they went on this really tough road trip. And we talked to Pence, and PV had pitched great that day, and Posey had a couple hits, and like Pence had a couple hits, and Pence had amazing defensive plays. And at the end of the interview, Pence said, "I need to say something. Like, I think that Blanco is a guy who does not ever get enough credit because he plays whenever he's asked, and that's not every day. He bunts people over, he gets a sac fly, he plays an incredible defense. Like, and this is straight from Pence. Pence said the most unsung hero on this Giants team is Gregor Blanco.
And he's been here for a long ass time now too. Like
And watching
Two
Blanco,
World Series titles.
I never understand why people are so hard on Blanco. Like, this is a guy who just shows up and plays baseball
and
every
he's
day.
never
Like,
been like. I mean, he's our starter when like other people go down.
Yeah.
But he's
Absolutely.
always been
And
like
he
the
feels-
fourth outfielder.
he feels the role. He's
Like,
never-
What do we need? Yeah.
he
What are we
never-
expecting from him? You know?
He's the one who can come off the bench, and okay, maybe the first game he comes off the bench, he may be a little cold, but
But
he's
today
going to give you
was
consistent
super
at
bad.
bat.
Amazing defense.
He's going to get pitches out of pitchers. He puts up great at bats, even when he's cold. He puts up great at bats. You know, he's a great on base defense.
that Sunday game in Chicago, in the ninth inning when the Giants had the bases loaded and nobody out, and they were down 2-0, and like Blanco was the third out of that inning, but he had the best at bat by far. It was Hector Sanchez swinging at everything
Flailing at 3 straight.
near
Yeah,
him.
3
Like,
straight curveballs in the dirt.
that was atrocious. Susak is rehabbing in Sacramento tomorrow, and then
Yes.
by the
I think
grace
he had a
of
home run. Actually, had a home run tonight. I think.
Yeah, in San Jose.
we're going to Sacramento tomorrow.
Yeah,
to watch
we
it.
can't
So,
even, like-
by the
You're
grace
going to
of-
Sacramento tomorrow?
She's
We're
going
going
to
to
Sacramento.
Rivercats game tomorrow.
I got a friend's birthday. I can't go. Sorry, Justin.
By the grace of God, we
Justin
get
Carp,
Susak
sorry.
back.
But we
Hector
can't even
Sanchez
let
is so
Posey
nice.
play
I love
first
the
right
team.
now. It sucks because we can't put Hector because Hector Sanchez.
Another okay. So Hector
Sanchez is so
but let's say a
But
name.
even the Pagan at bat in that Sunday game was not, like, he battled a little, but like you can tell the minute he has a strike call go against him, at this point he's
got
so
angry.
frustrated
Yeah, he got
that
angry.
he's gonna swing it. Like Blanco, I mean, it sucks that he was the third out,
But he's just
but he
frustrated this
battled
year.
better than anybody else. Yeah,
Pagan Begon hasn't been like that historically. He's just really frustrated this year.
And it may be the injury.
For good reason. Yeah, he can't do.
It's not 100%.
He can't do what he thinks he's capable of doing.
I think people are taking the wrong approach to Begon. I think he's more frustrated because he's hurt and he can't really help the way he can. And he comes off a bit.
But he needed to go on the DL.
Yes.
It was hurting the team to throw him out there every game.
But let's give some love to everyone in San Francisco knows, and hopefully nationally they're taking those. Where would this team be without the Duff man?
Duffy? Yeah.
Duffy.
So Duffy tonight goes 3 for 3 with a walk and a sac fly. Triple short of the cycle.
Why is he not getting more love for Rookie of the Year?
Well, I think he has to win because while people might not be talking about it, yeah, but fucking Josh, what's his fuck, Peterson. Jock? Is that how you say it?
No, Jock Peterson is not going to win Rookie.
There's no way he's going to win. He's hitting like 200.
I think Chris Bryant is going to run away with that.
You think so?
I don't think he's going to.
I don't
as good.
think he should.
But
he hits more home runs, and so he has more RBIs. Duffy is batting 50 points higher.
That's the thing. 50 points
like a lot.
higher.
Yeah. Chris Bryant is like hitting 260.
Slugging is higher.
Yeah. Like, do you think the writers are really going to ignore that? Like, I don't think so.
I mean, I think what might help Duffy is now showing up in the second spot because there's a big difference between hitting number 2 and number 3.
Yeah.
And he's excelling at both.
3 people want home runs.
His overall WAR is almost a full point higher than Chris Bryant's.
Yeah.
And I know WAR is not an official stat or whatever, but
and it is
the writers pay
with all these awards. It's how you
to
finish. I mean, in 2012, when Bosa won MVP, it was how we finished.
Yeah.
And
if the Giants make the playoffs and the Dodgers don't, then Peterson's out, and then it becomes down to just a numbers thing.
I mean, I feel like Peterson is out now.
Peterson's out now.
I love Jock Peterson. Like, one of the nicest people. Like,
Palo Alto kid.
Yeah, he's a local kid. He's the sweetest kid. He's a Dodger, so that sucks. That is a good baseball player.
Sure.
But Chris Bryant is a lot flashier. I mean, who knew who Matt Duffy was in March? Nobody. And all MLB was talking about in April was were the Cubs going to start with Chris Bryant because they were going to lose contract
We're going to have 17
things on him. It was a big deal.
Okay, but hold on.
That's the only thing that I think might be against Duffy.
Yeah.
Writers like stories,
And that
and
may
Matt
be
Duffy's a
Duffy's.
story.
It's how they finish. Again, I think what won Posey, Rookie of the Year, and MLB 2010 because how he
For him to
finished.
come in and do what he did with that Giants,
Exactly.
like
It's
that
how
was
you-
the story.
And didn't even start until mid-May.
Remember Rookie of the Year 2010, all the talk was Hayward all the way through, but it was how they finished. Posey finished
And then, of
stronger,
course,
and he got the Rookie of the Year. I think the
that was
same
a great
thing.
story.
I think that's Duffy's.
In my opinion, that was the best.
Best story. All right, so another story of tonight was Matt Cain, obviously, and this wasn't a good story, but it's okay because we ended up actually getting the win. However, it was a weird mental lapse from Bochy that you don't often see. But I think this was Bochy protecting his guy, like trying to do something for his guy, which he's always been known to do.
Cain is,
but he went a little too far.
Has some credit.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to give him some credit. Like,
he's a perfect game. He's got he's got credentials.
He has some.
But we know where he's at now. But I think this was Bochy trying to force Matt Cain to walk away with a win on his stats. Again, we're gonna get him out of this 5th inning.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing on Bochy's part. I mean, that's what builds your credibility with players. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bochy already has credibility. I feel like in this situation, I think could have saved Cain by just taking him out there. Because now Cain goes back and feels like, shit, I gave up the fucking home run that got, and sure. Maybe he was thinking, okay, a home run here doesn't actually tie the game, so it's not the worst thing that could happen. So let's go ahead and just go at this guy rather than walk him and then the potential tying runs at the plate, right? But like you were saying, we were talking earlier, this is like the equivalent of when Barry Bonds was coming up in the early 2000s, what this kid is doing right now.
Bryce Harper is clearly the MVP right now of the National League.
But he's that scary of a hitter. Right?
If you have a situation to walk...
I can't say he's clearly the MVP. I love like a good Andrew McCutcheon, like what he's doing.
If you have a situation,
Bryce Harper
On
is
that
an-
caliber, though.
He's right now. He's winning the MVP.
no, right now he's
baseball
MVP.
He's zone. He's like,
I hate that.
I know, but I'm just saying, a month
really
ago
hate
it
it.
could change. But right now,
No, yeah, I agree.
he's
I
MVP.
agree.
Right now, he's the scariest at bat in baseball.
So, if you scripted a situation in which, what is the most likely time you would walk the impending MVP?
Yeah.
It would be with a 4-run lead
And an open first
and
base.
runners on second and third
And two
with
outs.
2 outs. Not only that, your
and a-
pitcher's a
and a
right-hander.
righty coming out.
He's a lefty.
Righty has
The
struck
next
out 5
guy
times already
is
in
a
the
righty.
okay, but
Okay?
but Bochy's
I'm
still
sorry.
Bochy's still a little old school, and I don't think he'd ever put the time run up the plate.
No, I think that's the thing. Yeah, and
He's
that's, I
never
think,
going to
the-
do that. He's never going to do that.
That's I think the thing that saves
Unless
this
he's Buck
decision
Showalter.
from being like a completely stupid decision is that one fact, because when you
still-
look at it, you think, okay, well, we're trying to just win a baseball game. A home run doesn't put the other team ahead or tie, so you take your chance, you roll the dice there. However, they should have pitched at least around him.
Yeah.
A little bit instead of throwing him a
Don't
fastball on the
ruin
inside
it.
part of the plate. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Bochy is very much, and this is why guys want to play for him. This is why they have that incredible chemistry. I was
Because he puts their picture on his desk and then turns around.
literally, he has one picture in a frame for every single guy, and every day that they start, he puts it on his desk and then turns and smiles. But I was covering the game Giants A's, I don't know, a month ago, where Tim Hudson was like going for beating the A's,
On my East
and
paper.
it would be his last. He hadn't beat the A's. That was the only other team
Oh, yeah,
he
that's
hadn't
the only
beat.
team he hadn't
And so
beat, yeah.
and it was a grind to get Hudson through 5 innings, and we kept debating in the press box, like, for the good of the team, do you take Hudson out, or do you let him go for this thing? And Bochy he loves his guys, and he's always going to be the manager who lets his guys go for that. And Hudson rises. I mean, these guys are going to rise to the occasion. They love playing for a manager like that.
If you look like
And so then he got the win, but it was scary.
No,
But
it means
Bochy
something to the
wanted that
players.
for him.
Yeah.
We don't understand that necessarily because all we think is, oh, we're trying to win this game. But there's dynamics that go on in between these guys. They work together,
Yeah.
essentially.
Again,
And it means something to them.
Bochy he was a ball player, he was a grinder, he was a bench player, he was a backup catcher. He grinds with his players and he knows what it means to, like, okay, this might be the deciding factor. We might lose the West by 1 game, but I'm not going to sell out my players.
Yeah.
Kane,
He would never throw
He
his
would
guys
never
under the
sell
bus
them out.
ever.
And you think about what Kane's given to this team. Like, he's the
Exactly.
guy you want to protect.
and Kane is still a work in progress. I mean, I still think he can get back to it.
Oh, he'll
but
be Kane again.
He'll be Kane again,
His
but
start tonight was so good
Yes.
until that groove pitch
Yeah.
to
It
Harper,
was.
and it was like, oh, and no.
Could have been so much different.
Yeah.
But people like
That's
on
why-
like Twitter and the Reddit were like, Kane is like now worse than Lincecum.
No.
And it's like, what are you talking
First of all,
about? Like,
and then
he's still
you know,
throwing hard.
and still, like, people who hate on, okay, there's those fans who started watching after 2010.
Yeah, they don't get. They
They
don't, really
don't get it.
they
They don't get it. All right. You don't know the effort that these guys put in. People were hating on Posey after the 2012 World Series because he hit under 200.
No,
you
in
don't understand
2014 when he was hitting like 200.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
but
don't understand
it's
how.
like, okay.
All right.
You
He hit-
literally never get to say anything bad about
Exactly.
Gerald Posey
Yeah,
forever.
absolutely.
Like, that is
Because
it.
you have to take awesome defense, offensive, and yes, you have to prove to your
And the guy
guys.
who caught an 18-inning game like
Exactly.
gets a little leeway when it comes to
And Bell,
He's
yeah.
leading the league this year in runners, like, percentage of, like,
Well, Posey,
caught
yeah.
stealing,
So if
like-
Bryce Harper wasn't having the year he's having, people might be talking about Posey as an MVP this
And they
year.
should be
Like,
talking. They
He
should
should
still
be
be
in-
talking about
he
it.
Yeah, he should be in the
be-
conversation. He'll
He
get
should
votes.
absolutely. I haven't watched ESPN in years because ESPN.
'Cause it sucks.
But, yeah, but still, I mean, he better be in the conversation. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise,
he's like, what, third in
yeah.
RBIs? He's...
Again, an incredible second half, an incredible year.
I mean, it speaks volumes that he's batting like almost 330, and nobody talks about it because that's just.
That's what you
Posey.
expected to do. Yeah.
He's
That's what
leading.
you're supposed to do.
I think he's leading the whole league in like two out RBIs.
I know, he's
or
hitting like
runners in
400 with runners in
Yeah,
scoring.
something insane. Like, what in the world? This is great. And like, but nobody talks about it because it's like, oh, that's just Posey.
Well, it was
like,
funny because like there's a streak where it was like every day he was like like 3 for 4.
Yeah.
And it was like, so what Posey? Oh, 3 for 4. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but that's
Oh, normal.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Why didn't
So
he go
Posey had a
4?
Posey day.
What the hell? What's wrong with him?
So I mean,
dare he?
at the end of the day, today we're 2.5 behind the Dodgers. Where it's going to be another fun September. I mean, it's 2015.
But the fact is now we're competing with some of the best teams in baseball.
Yes.
We still got a couple more weeks
Yes.
of that. So it's going to be a grind. But we were saying, like, if you can do this stretch and then be essentially like 500 or slightly around, like somewhere around
That's
that,
all you want right
then
now.
we're going to be fine moving into that last.
I mean, all you want is to go ahead with the Dodgers. And
7 more games with the Dodgers.
exactly.
And we've
Let the
proven this
chips
year
fall
that we
where they
can
may.
beat them.
I mean, I'm of those. I like win or lose is never dull when we go against the Dodgers. It's just us mano a mano. Let's see who has it, boys.
And
Let's go.
there's been a lot. So right now you can kind of really tell the makeup of your team, and like, you know, guys like Casilla, who has been in the past a pretty reliable reliever for a long time.
He's been
His
incredible.
stats have been amazing. This year he's been a little bit of a struggle, but Bochy tonight went to the closer by committee. Like, he's like taking into account what he's supposed to be doing. Romo pitches the first out, or the first two, and then we bring in a lefty just for Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
And Casilla's in the bullpen. He stays in the bullpen. He doesn't even come in. And so Bochy, like, he's managing it like, no, we're trying to win.
I mean, I think we saw in last year, 2014. I mean, 2010 was a miracle. 2012 was the best
But we had, like, a legit
fundamental team
closer
I've
in
ever
2010
seen.
though, too. Yeah.
But in 2014 was Bumgarner all the way. But at all of it, there was strong fundamentals and there was strong, pitchers by committee. There was guys did their job.
Yeah, well, Bochy
And so-
outmanages every pitch.
Exactly.
Really does. I hope the Dodgers sign Mattingly to like a
10-year.
extension.
I want him to manage.
Keep it forever. Like,
Manage
Bochy will
forever.
destroy Mattingly.
Every day.
It's
They
not
keep making these like moves, and then I just wonder, like,
No,
so
we talked
Mattingly's still
about
there,
this.
right?
Like,
Okay,
if-
cool. Then
You
whatever.
guys just extended Mattingly's contract last year.
if the
Why did you
managers
do
switch
that?
positions, I think the Dodgers would win by 2
They're like
games.
10 games ahead of us right now. Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Absolutely, they would.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so Giants now tomorrow. Who's starting tomorrow? Anybody know? Don't have this in front of me. I'm looking it up.
Bumgarner on Sunday. I know
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Heston, so it's got to be.
All right, so tomorrow is Peavy.
It's got to be Peavy.
Gotta be Peavy.
Peavy versus another quality starter, Gio Gonzalez.
Gio Gonzalez.
So, like, their rotation
Shout out
just
to my
like,
A's friends.
They're-
Yo.
This is why everyone thought the Nationals were going to run away
Well,
with
the
that division.
Nationals
And I also
always win the
aren't
World
they
Series.
like 2 games above 500 right
They're
now?
1 game
I
above 500.
love that
One
the
game.
Mets.
One
The Mets
game.
are full on trolling everyone in the NL East, and I love it.
So the Nationals lead
Love
the
it.
league in
Anyone else feel
championships
bad
won
for
in
Matt
spring
Williams?
training.
I feel bad for Matt
Yeah,
Williams.
exactly.
I feel bad for Matt Williams. I love Matt Williams. I will always feel bad for him.
I love him too.
You know what though? He might be a guy with a ring if he left in Zimmerman.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier. Like, and the minute he took him out, we're like, oh god, the Giants are gonna win this game. They're gonna win.
Like he
Like,
might
right
have
now.
a ring
Yeah.
if he did one thing different.
Always come back to the orange and black Williams. Always come back.
We have to feel like Sundays.
We're at tire number 9.
We have to feel like Sunday's almost a lock though, because it is their worst against our
That's what
guys.
they thought tonight and last night. So.
But okay, so I think tomorrow though is an incredibly important game because if we win tomorrow, then a sweep is super likely.
Yeah.
A super sweep is
And I don't.
Yeah.
fantastic.
And we
I don't-
just got super swept, so let's super sweep
absolutely.
somebody
I
else.
don't know
Yeah.
if anyone takes anything like a big game more seriously than like apart
Oh,
from
no,
Bumgarner than Peavy. Like,
Yeah, oh no.
that last game at home before
Peavy's gonna
this
be
really
in
tough
full-
road
yeah.
trip, Peavy just kept saying like post game we talked to him and he was like, I knew that this road trip was gonna whatever happens upcoming, it was gonna be tough, but like we needed to win today, we needed to win, and I put that on myself and thought we are going to win today, and if we lose, it is not gonna be because of my performance.
It was so funny to watch.
All right.
Today I was down in BP and they were doing their stretches and all the pitchers were together and like through the PA system, life in the fast lane, right?
Eagles forever.
Peavy goes ape shit over that, and he just stopped and he goes, "Fucking turn that shit up! This is my song, motherfuckers!" Like he was just
Like,
going
he's
off.
honestly one of my
Anyone-
favorites in that club.
If the Eagles play, you need to get hyped. That's all I'm
Oh
saying.
my god!
You need to
It was
get
the
hyped.
Funniest thing. I was like, okay, so that's what he listens to before he pitches.
Like, it's so funny
Life in
to
the
watch
fast
him
lane.
on the mound because he's, screams at himself and he's so fired. But then he's the nicest person in the world, like during interviews. But he puts a lot of pressure on himself, and I think it was a good, kind of a blessing in disguise. Like, he's older. I don't think he can go a full season, but the fact that he was injured the first half.
Yeah, he's like fresh
He's
now.
been great since the All-Star break. Like,
3.07.
this is the
ERA
PD that we
since
want
the DL.
down
I
the
mean,
stretch.
that's
And no one competes harder than
that's
PD.
the smart, and I put Bogey in the same category. These guys, they're veterans. They know, okay, they can't go 6-7 innings, but they're gonna show a toughness and a old-fashioned bulldog. They're gonna go and put everything out on the line and show, hey, I may not have the arm I had when I was 20 years old, but I know how to pitch, and I'm gonna put everything I have on the line. You guys better be putting the same effort. You guys are 20 years old. Put in the same effort, and the Giants, I think, have that. And they're both cheap. They have that mentality. So I think that's why they
love
stick.
each other.
Yes, exactly.
They
So
really
I mean, everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Boom! I dropped that.
There you go. It happened.
Mic drop,
It
but
happened.
Boom.
I think that's a pretty good note to go out on, honestly. So watch the full Clubhouse if you haven't seen it yet. That's like now the
literally
new.
can't
Like,
decide
it's
who's
been
my
like the
favorite.
best.
Every
Yeah.
time I watch it, I have a
Our
different
only
favorite.
complaint is that comment wasn't in it. There's like 1 million dogs in this city. People walking dogs all over the place. They couldn't get like a golden retriever to be in.
No, they should have had Matt Duffy's cat in it.
Yes.
Oh my god! Maybe
They filmed that before Skeeter was big.
I might have
And I know
actually died.
Matt
Like, if Skeeter
Matt
just,
McKee
like,
at
waddled
G
in.
Productions, I think he's the one who put that together. Shout out to Fat Matt. I think he's the one who put that together.
Where was
It
the
was
cat?
Yeah, next
That
time
cat.
I want a cat.
I want
that cat.
Goddamn
really
cat.
obese cat. Not
Well,
like a
thanks,
regular cat.
thanks Juan for joining us. It's fun.
Pleasure, guys.
Jen, as usual, we've missed you.
Smartest person in the room.
Missed you guys.
Yeah. The fuck? We did a bonusode
No more
3
road
weeks
trips.
ago.
No
and
more
there was no
Midwest
Jen.
road trips for Jen.
No,
Yeah,
no
Jen
bonus
stay out of
bonus
Chicago.
is not a bonus.
Cali doesn't do good. when
Don't
she's
tell me
on
what
the
to
road.
do. I will not stay out of Chicago.
Shout out to It's Allie Duh for
Ali in
Whatever
Vegas.
she's
I think
doing.
she's hitting up Vegas.
She's in Vegas.
duh.
today.
Oh, Vegas. High roller now.
and Ben Lee and Eric Nathanson not with us. Your bestie Eric. Yeah. He
Eric!
died. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my
He's not with us anymore.
Wow.
god! Eric! Love you.
Love you, Eric. You're still alive.
You're still alive.
And of course Chad. And my name is Willie Dills. And that's it. Boom.
Bye.
Yeah. No, it's not.
A big thank you to everybody for listening to the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at torturecast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills saying, we'll see you next time.